How are you guys? Hopefully y'all are doing good. Y'all might want to grab you a cup of coffee or soda or whatever you drink. Shot of whiskey. Just saying, it's Monday. We're back in court today with Lori VALLOW, DAYBELL, the famous, notorious, psychopathic, narcissistic lawyer Loco Lori, in Arizona today. Trial resumes. Good morning, Nye. Thank you. I meant to say hi earlier. I've been in the background trying to get some stuff done. Plus, I had to work a while ago for about 40 minutes with my actual job. So, yeah. Thank you to everyone that has, good morning, Burden. You taking a break now? I'm on my second one. So, and I only try to limit myself to 2 cups in the morning. But I do have me a pineapple glass full of grape Kool-Aid ready to go. So, um, thank you so much to you two, Nye and Burden, for being here. I know it's early. Everybody's in different parts of the world. And thank you guys for being here. It means a lot to me. So, that being said, we've got quite a little bit of a show this morning to take place because while I was getting the material ready, can y'all hear me okay? While I was getting the material ready, I run across some more body cam footages. And, I'm like, "Why?" And they have not showed any body cam footages that I recall yet. So, thank you, thank you. I'm sleepy. I'm tired. I didn't get to bed till late last night either. We barbecued and it was so good. That food was so good. Had some shish kebabs, some ribs, some salads, some potatoes. Yeah, but anyway, the body cam footage, I don't understand why the prosecution has not shown any of that yet. I'm wondering if we're gonna have any issues with jurors this morning or whatever. And I'm also kind of curious as if Lori is going to throw in the towel anytime soon. Um, I mean, I know in previous cases or whatever, we've had defendants that just didn't show up for court, didn't want to show up. But with her being pro se, I believe she has to be there. I'm not sure exactly how that goes. I really need to brush up on my legalese and my lawyer stuff. So other than that, but last week was quite a show, and I don't say show as in it's a good thing because this by no means is anywhere good at all. Um, the cases that we go over. I've had a lot of people look at me like, "Why you do that?" Da, 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 da. Well, I do it because it's to raise awareness and because myself personally, I know what it's like. Um, to be a survivor, a victim, and a family member of someone who's went through crazy stuff. And believe it or not, and every time that I'm talking about, law enforcement's had chances to intervene and do something to change the outcome. But my big issue, and by me saying that, is this: when an officer, when when an officer of the law, peace officer, sheriff, paralegal, anybody who deals with legal stuff, criminal, civil, any type of legal stuff. They take oaths before they go into office, before they go to working. And sorry, my head's let me a little bit. Um, they take these oaths to protect and serve, to be honest, to be truthful. Well, my question to all the law enforcement people out there who just go to get a paycheck: why don't you turn your badge in and let someone who wants to make a difference, who wants to make a change, have that chance? Because I could almost guarantee that the ones who do have badges, who do hold political authority, like your prosecutors, your sheriffs, and I'm speaking from my county that I'm from in Missouri, Mississippi County, Missouri. Y'all need to go straight back to hell where you come from, all of you. I said what I said, and I mean it. Uh, an audit. We have all these audits going on. An audit of Mississippi County, Missouri cannot be done fast enough. The corruption level with the good old boys or whatever here in this county, y'all need some help. Still, nothing has been done on my case. I do know that my rights as a victim, my victim rights were violated, majorly violated. But I'm not the only one in this county who's had issues. Um, Several people who have some bad charges against them that shouldn't even had any charges. Well, they don't have them against them now. They should never had any charges because if the great and mighty sheriff's department would have done what they were supposed to do, people would still be alive in this county. And it makes me sick when I think about it and I get aggravated about it. So, yeah, that's enough of my little rocking horse thing this morning. So, we're going to get back into the matters at hand, and that is getting justice for Charles VALLOW. Charles VALLOW is an individual who was married to Lori Noreen VALLOW Daybell. I say Daybell because she is now currently on her fifth husband. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, children, young and old, animals, even. Lori Noreen VALLOW. Not married once, not married twice, not married 3 times, 4 times, but 5 times. But just so happens her fifth husband that she's with, in case y'all are wondering, this the ink pen. It's a guy that did the Azalea Festival. It was a freebie. Her fifth husband is Chad Daybell. Famous. I mean, I don't know how famous he is, but he was known as the Doomsday book. He's an author of some Doomsday books or whatever. Author of bullshit, if you want to know the truth from me. But he is currently on death row in Idaho because of this mess that him and Lori have done. But enough about all that, because I don't like to, when I talk about these cases, I don't like to emphasize so much on the perps, I guess you could say, because they don't deserve an ounce of energy, to be honest. They deserve to be put in a sinkhole, covered up with cement, and left to do, well, just become compost, in my opinion. But, anyway, hope you guys are ready, buckled up, because we got a show. We're going to start off this morning with some body cam footage, and some phone calls. The first video we're going to watch is the one where Charles VALLOW reached out and was trying to get his beneficiary changed on his life insurance. Why was he trying to do that, many will ask? Well, because he knew something wasn't right. This is the first time I had heard this morning. I mean, I may have heard it previously or whatever, but I forgot about it. But I found it, and it's pretty sad to listen to when you know what the outcome of it was. So we're going to just jump right on over to this. Let me add her in here. And away we go.
Thank you for calling Legal in General. My name is Kevin. May I have your policy number?
Kevin, my name is Charles VALLOW. I'm the insured and the agent. I don't have it. I'll give you my social. Can you please give me the policy number? I'm doing a beneficiary change.
Okay, what's your social, please?
As well.
Okay, what's your full name?
Leland Charles Anthony VALLOW, or L. Charles VALLOW.
Okay, hold on a second, please. Okay, verify your date of birth. Address. Your old address. Okay, wait a second. You said, what's the house number again?
3688.
No, that's not what I have as a previous address.
Okay, the J Place.
No.
I don't know what you.
Yeah,
I
I have
really
to
don't.
authenticate the call.
We're in Hawaii. We were in Hawaii. Was this one in Hawaii?
Okay. This is in Texas, so all I can tell you.
78746.
Okay. Now, what is your password? Just I have a password.
I don't have a password.
Okay. It's telling me that I need to authenticate a password, sir.
I don't have a password. I'm just changing my beneficiary.
Okay. Hold on a second, please. It says that somebody you put in a password here, sir. So I can't proceed without the password being confirmed.
I had no idea.
No. No.
I don't know what I don't ever remember setting up a password ever.
Okay.
And I'm the agent and the insured.
Okay. Yeah, I would still need to verify that password no matter who you are because we have to go ahead and.
I don't have a password. How do I get a new password when I never set up one? Can you please tell me that? I know you're doing your job. This is just frustrating for me. I need to change the beneficiary. How do I do it when I don't have a password? I've never set up one. I don't know how else to do one. What do I do? All I need is my policy number.
Okay. I can't send you anything until I actually get that verified. So
you can. So I can't do anything with my policy. I could die today. You would give anybody the money because I don't have a password.
Well, no, that's not.
Tell me what to do to get this done.
Okay. Hold on 1 second for me, okay?
Thank you.
Thanks. All right. Thanks a lot for holding. I do appreciate your time. So this is the best I can do. And I'm sorry because a lot of people are in a meeting. I was trying to get you to somebody. So I'm going to mail a beneficiary form out, okay? And then you'll get that. Is there anything else?
Which address are you mailing it to?
Well, we can't change anything right now because you know.
Yeah, 3300 BK Road, Suite 650.
That's the address that we authenticated you partially with, right?
Okay. And when did I set up a password?
Well, that was recent. It looks like on my note here.
I mean, how recent?
It looks like
6 months, 2 years?
2/20. No, February 20th.
Okay, somebody else has called onto my account. That's fraud.
I don't know, sir. I mean, that's the thing is that I don't know.
I do know. I haven't called in on this policy in a long time.
Yeah, if you have concerns about that, then, you know, you need to supply some form of proof or something. But yeah, that's, you know, I'll be able to do that. But you can request request in writing.
My wife left me 30 days ago. She's taken a ton of my money. I don't know what she's doing on this account, but it's fraud. I'm the guy. I'm Charles VALLOW. I'm the insured and the owner of the policy. Correct? And I need to know what to do right now today to change my beneficiary to my sister.
So what you need to do, sir, is the following, okay? What I would recommend that you do is you send something in writing, letting us know in writing, and I'll give you a fax number or an email address, etc. You need to send something in writing and be as blatant as possible with your concerns, okay? I would be personal in saying that you feel like somebody is trying to take away your information and etc. And that you talk to me, my name's Kevin, and that I could not authenticate you or change your address because the password could not be changed. Now then what they'll do is they'll go back to the calls, okay, that were made recently. They'll go back to the calls that were made recently, and then they'll do an investigation on the trend to see if something like that was to happen. And
will they let me know?
Yeah, they'll let you know. You got to put your contact. You got to put your contact information in, etc. And then they'll let you know. Yes.
I'll put my new address. I'll put my new phone number.
Yeah.
And put
email address.
I've not added a password.
Email address.
I've not added a password or anything to my account. Somebody else has been messing with my account. Please discontinue any use and speak only with Charles VALLOW or KF Kathleen Ethel Woodcock, the owner and beneficiary.
Yeah, and then,
like that?
Yeah, right. And then you want to mention my name, that you spoke to Kevin and he could not authenticate me.
What's your last name, Kevin?
Della Rosa, DELAROSA.
Could not authenticate password.
I'm sorry?
Okay, I put on there that Kevin
Yeah.
Della Rosa could not authenticate password.
Yeah, password that was listed on the account. And you're requesting to have an investigation done because you feel like somebody is trying, if somebody, you have to be personal. You have to say, I think you just used the word your ex-wife or your wife is trying to take away, and you say a brief synopsis that, you know, she'd stick in
have an
your money.
investigation done.
Yeah, because you fear your wife is trying to.
My password was authorized in this account, and I did not do it.
Yeah, but don't just leave it like that because, you know, you just told me that it was your wife. If you feel like that's something personal, then you need to say that so that we can go ahead and put this under investigation and review. People will go back and call and review calls that were made before to see what happened. But we'll just leave it like that in the air because.
And I'm going to email it. I'm going to fax it today, or can I email it?
Yeah, I can give you an email or a fax.
Give me an email.
Okay.
I'll do this right now.
Yeah, customer service at bannerlife.com. That's customer service at bannerlife.com.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for calling Legal in General, and enjoy your day, sir. I'm sorry about that.
Appreciate it. Bye.
Thank you for calling Legal in General. My name is Pam. Can I have your policy number?
Pam, I'm the agent and the owner of the policy. Insured. Name is Charles VALLOW. V is in Victor. ALLOW. Social. Tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready. Okay. Okay, so you're calling, whose social is that?
It's mine, the owner and the agent.
Okay. Charles. Can I have your mailing address, please? Let me just check. You've changed it with a customer service representative?
Yes, ma'am. This morning, about more than an hour ago.
Okay. Now, did you change it as an agent or as a policy owner? I'm not seeing.
Both.
Do you know who you spoke to?
I didn't write it down, ma'am. I realized I had to. Usually when I call, you guys take care of it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to see if that was passed. Let me just see. One moment.
Well, here's my question. We'll go back to that, the address.
Okay.
I got on my banking statement, it says stop payment reviewed, item paid, Banner Life, 50750. Why would the stop payment be put on that? Who did that?
Okay. No, stop payment on.
The premium payment, the automatic, the EFT.
It's set to draft. It just drafted on February 15th. It's going to draft again on March 15th.
But why does it say on the banking statement, stop payment reviewed?
I don't have an answer for you on that. Yeah, I don't have an answer for you because that one, there's nothing noted here to stop payment. It's very, everything.
We're in good shape. We're good. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
All right, sir, but your address, do you want me to
Okay.
Because what we have here, let's see, the Bees
My
Cove
business
Road.
address is my business address is okay. My home address, I have two homes. My home address is in Gilbert, Arizona.
Okay, so all correspondence are going to go to the 3300B Cove Road. If I change it, all yours as an agent will go to that address too. So I
That's
think.
fine. I still get mail to both places.
Okay. All right. You're all good then.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Right.
I've got. Is there any kind of identity lock or something I can put on my anybody that calls in on my policy so I can? I'm changing the insured to my sister for my special needs son as administrator. Can I put a lock or something, a code they have to give if anybody calls to ask about my policy? Is that possible? Will you guys do that?
Right. So I can put a special password. So you have to remember that because every time you call, you have to repeat that. All right. All right. Let me have your
Could it be a 4-digit number or 5
absolutely.
digits? And you give no information to anyone that doesn't have that password.
Absolutely. That's what that's there for. So every time you call,
awesome. Thank you.
Okay. You have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you for your help. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for calling Legal and General America. This is Lakshmi speaking. May I have your policy number, please?
I don't have a policy number. I'm the policy owner. I'm the agent and policy owner.
Okay.
I give my socials for.
I'm speaking to Mr. Charles Vallow.
That's just me. Just can you email me a beneficiary change form, please? And tell me who the beneficiaries are on the policy now.
Okay, let me pull the policy first. Hold on for a few seconds. So the primary beneficiary, can I also verify your address?
Pardon me?
Can I verify your address? What was your previous address?
Queen Creek, Arizona, 85142.
We have your Austin address still.
Austin, Texas, 78746. Can you change it to the Arizona address, please?
Okay. But since you are also an agent, you need to send that information to our licensing department, and you can email it to them or fax it to them. I can give you their information.
That's fine. Can you just email me a beneficiary change form is all I need on my policy.
Can I get your email
and policy number, charles.vallow, first name dot last name at gmail.com.
Okay. Okay, I just emailed you the form. You should be receiving that in a few seconds.
Sure. Thank you very much. Can you notify? Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
This is the home behind me where Charles Vallow was. This is the home behind me where Charles Vallow was shot and killed back in.
Okay, so I wanted to stop a moment before we go into the next one. Big props to Nathan from East Idaho News. He is actually in the courtroom, going to be in the courtroom, and he does this thing called Courtroom Insider at night, where he goes over the events of the days and things that have happened in court during the day. And he gives shout outs, etc. Nate has done a wonderful job on this case. Him and Justin Lum. There's been several, but those two are the two that really stick out to me because Justin is in Phoenix with Phoenix Fox 10 News Phoenix or whatever. And then Nate is out of Idaho, but Nate has unfortunately almost He almost became a witness in this case because of Lori. Lori wanted him to be a witness, but basically she didn't really want him to be a witness. She just didn't want him to be in the court because the two of them had dinner together. Yeah, I seen that Justin and Nate. Um, they did a video this morning also, or it wasn't this morning. It was over the weekend. Might have been way early this morning or whatever. But Vinnie Politan from Court TV. That's another group that's been great. All big shout out to all the journalists and everything that work at these cases. Not only this case, but several others. I do freelance investigative journalism. Yes, they are. Burton just hit the nail on the head with that right there. Nate and Justin are rare gems when it comes to journalism with integrity. And you're so right. And it takes when you're a journalist or investigative journalism, any type of journalism, it takes some guts and some courage to do that. And while there are many out there who say that they are or freelance or whatever, in my opinion, they don't need to even put the title of journalism or reporter or anything like that with their stuff because they just some tragedy films just make me sick. But I'm thankful for the ones I've worked with on here, like Burden and my friends over on the other server, and Leave It to Bieber. She's great. Miss Q News, she's good. Burden, and there's many more, but those are my top ones. Right, the docket. Um, give him a shout out real quick, because he has kept us up with documents and court proceeding papers and anything you need paperwork wise regarding court cases. Highly recommend Chasing Paper on Twitter. The docket is what he goes by on YouTube. But all in all, he's Eric. He's awesome. I mean, he's really awesome. Somebody can drop he's been doing live streams on this case. Uh, Krishna, what's her channel's name? Is it Difficult Research? Or I can't remember. If one of y'all will drop Krishna's, which is the Difficult Research, and the docket, please, Bird, I want you to drop your channel too, even though you haven't been live with us lately. I still want you to drop yours because she has wonderful coverage on all kinds of cases, missing people cases, and everything. Yes, very true. Burden says there's a very fine line between getting the story and ensuring you remain sensitive to the ones most affected to these crimes. That's very true. I remember when I first started out doing YouTube on these type of cases and stuff. It was a very hard time of my life. It was whenever a young lady named Madison Elizabeth Lambert went missing, and Madison was best friends with my daughter. Well, she's best friends with my daughter. Unfortunately, she went missing on December 26th. 2020, and then 4 weeks later, January 23rd, she was found an angel. But I remember going through that, and I was like, I wanted to make sure that if I was going to do any type of discussion about her case with anyone on YouTube, I wanted it to be professional, and I wanted it to be accurate, and I wanted it to be factual. So I was scrolling through YouTube looking, and I run across Bieber, Leave It to Bieber. You can drop her channel too. Also, she was the first one I spoke with on YouTube about the case, and I've loved her ever since. She's a wonderful person too. So these type of cases are very hard to handle for some, and whenever you go through your life and you have to go through stuff like that, it kind of hits differently. And like last year, it's been a year. It was last week that my little cousin come up missing, and he was found an angel too. His brother is the reason that we lost him. So Yeah, and I almost quit true crime. I almost quit true crime. I almost quit everything again when that happened. But thanks to Burden and thanks to some other friends of mine on here, I I talked to myself and I told myself, I was like, Sophie, you need to stay in here and do this because you might be the only voice some people have, and you never know when you are going to be. Sorry, y'all. You never know when you're going to be that person that's going to be the voice to help or anything or things like that. But whenever it hits your family, something like this that you cover every day, it it hits differently. It really hits differently. But the next video we're going to look at, like I said, thank you guys. Thanks. I do not own the rights to this stuff. I use the fair use licenses, uh, common license through YouTube or whatever. I've learned just not to play no music. And I got a really good video over the weekend while I was at the Azalea Festival of this thing called Canine in the Clouds. It's a man that has shelter dogs. He goes and he adopts shelter dogs and he teaches them, trains them with frisbees, and they dive off the dock and everything. I'll see if I can get it uploaded better and just edit the music out. But it's pretty cool. I'll drop that link to that one here shortly. But we're going to jump on over to this next one video, and it is called A Closer Look at a critical hour when Charles VALLOW was shot and killed. It's only about 2-3 minutes, and then we'll get into the I think it's the final body cam footage I'm gonna show, and then we're gonna just do a recap of the week. But big props to Nate Eaton.
July of 2019. Beautiful behind me where this is the home behind me where Charles VALLOW was shot and killed back in July of 2019. Beautiful house in a nice neighborhood in Chandler. At 7:33 that morning, Charles texted Lori, and then police say that his device was here at the house at 7:50. So 17 minutes later, his device was here at the house. And then for nearly 40 minutes, the device left the home. It was not here. And I'm going to take you kind of on a drive to show you the movements, according to police, that Lori VALLOW went on with Charles VALLOW's device, allegedly that morning, where that device ended up before it ended up back here at the house. Now, at 7:52 that morning, there was a voice call between Alex and Lori. We don't know what was discussed during that call. It seemed to be relatively short because Lori stopped at a fast food restaurant. 2 minutes after that phone call, Lori went through the drive-through here at this Burger King around 7:54 a.m. Charles's device was pinged here at the restaurant around 7:55 a.m. So they were here for just a few minutes. Lori ordered some chicken nuggets, some chicken fries, according to a receipt that we have, some Sprite, and a bottle of water. Think about it. While she's here getting that food back at the house, about 5-6 minutes away, according to my driving records, Charles was dying, and Alex was there with him. Lori was here with Tylee and JJ, and then they left the fast food restaurant and did one more stop before taking JJ to school. Charles's device arrived at Walgreens at 8:16 in the morning. Surveillance footage captured Lori purchasing a pair of flip-flops. She was here for about 4 minutes. She then left the Walgreens around 8:20 in the morning. Charles's device arrives here at JJ's school at 8:32. 4 minutes later, at 8:36, that's when Alex Cox, back at the house, calls 911 to report that he has shot his brother-in-law.
I'm in police in an ambulance.
What's the emergency there?
I got in a fight with my brother-in-law and I shot him in self-defense.
Okay, let me get the medics on the phone. And is he hurt or is he alive? Or
Yeah, there's blood. He's not moving.
how long ago did this happen?
A couple of minutes.
And at 8:49, the device ended up back here at the house. Of course, we have seen that police body camera footage with Lori VALLOW talking to the officers, with Alex Cox on the side of the road dabbing his head, saying he had been hit with a baseball bat. And then Lori and Alex and Tylee were taken to the police station for questioning. And here we are 5 years later, awaiting Lori Vallow's trial.
Okay, so right now this next one, trigger warning. I need to throw up the trigger warning. Hold on just a second. Yeah, trigger warning for just heads up because it does involve police interaction. I don't think it shows anything inside the house. I'm not too sure, 100%. But I don't think it does. But yeah, trigger warning on this one. And there's no sound right now because the officer is he's en route to the home.
He's advising the 54-hour narc involved. The brother's here visiting, brother-in-law visiting from Houston.
Boy, Jim 97, do you have the subject on the phone step out of the residence with his hands empty?
Yes, sir. That does mean he's going to have to stop CPR.
That's fine. Fire's right up the street.
Who else is in the house? Okay, just have a seat right there. Let's get FD in here. Have a seat. You have some ID on you, sir? Yeah. What happened today? How did it get to this?
I don't know. He was enraged.
What's going on? What happened?
He was talking with my sister earlier.
No, what happened today, though? Like just in the last 20 minutes.
He came at me with a bat.
Okay. Was he living here or
no.
visiting?
He came to pick up his son.
Okay. Is the son inside?
No. My sister took him to school.
Okay, so it was just you at the house?
Yes.
And he came. How long? What time did he come to pick up the son?
I don't know, 20 minutes ago maybe.
Okay. So you know who he is? Let him in.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I think they were talking earlier, then she left, and then he got into it with me.
Like what? What do you mean?
I don't know. He was accusing me of.
Come on over here. That truck's gonna be really loud. What was he accusing you of?
He was just yelling at me.
Okay. What was he yelling at you about?
About my sister because I'd broken up a tussle with them earlier. And he told me not to interfere anymore with them or I'd pay. And he came at me with a bat.
Okay, so he showed up in the house with a bat in his hand?
No.
Okay, so.
There was a scuffle earlier with my sister and my niece. My niece got involved.
About earlier meaning earlier this week, earlier this morning?
Just this morning, before they left.
Before your wife left?
My sister.
Before your sister left?
Yeah.
Okay, who lives here with you?
Nobody. I don't live here. My sister lives here and my niece lives here.
And you're just visiting?
I was visiting for the night.
Okay, so you're over here visiting your sister and your niece.
Yes.
Okay, and there was a tussle between your sister and her husband.
Yes.
And does the husband live here or no?
No.
Okay. Okay, is he an ex-husband or just current husband?
They're working on that.
Gotcha. So at some point earlier today, they get into some type of domestic?
Yeah, just this morning, then they left, and then he came at me.
They left meaning who? Both of parties?
Yeah, my sister took my niece and my nephew.
Okay, so they left.
Create some space for him, and then he came at me.
Okay, but did he leave also?
No.
He stayed here.
He stayed.
So you guys are kind of talking in between or what? Who are you? Who are you? No, just go back. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So it's just you and your brother-in-law.
Yes.
Okay? And kind of go through it.
So,
say something like, hey, don't touch my sister, or
yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he picked up the bat.
Where was the bat at?
In the living room.
Okay.
The guy inside me.
No, I haven't got it.
I'm going to pause here just for a second because there's a few things I want to point out in this coverage so far. One, if the officers are on scene for a shooting, why don't they have the perpetrator, self-defense, what have you? Why don't they not have him in cuffs? And why are they allowing him to walk around freely? He could have very well took off running, grabbed a weapon, and yeah, it would have been bad then. But I can understand trust is given where trust is seen, but in my opinion, I feel like that's very unprofessional of them to do that. And another thing is what he just said there about the bat. I need to go back and look at Tylee's interview, that may be, we may cover that tomorrow, go over their interviews tomorrow. Just depends on what happens today in court. But I can't remember, someone help me if they remember about whenever the incident happened. I believe Lori and Charles had quote unquote gotten into it, and Tylee had gotten awakened or whatever, and the bat should have been like in the hallway or whatever, not in the living room. Yes, he should have been detained, very much so. But I was wondering about that. I need to find out about that because he said that the bat was in the living room, and I don't believe it was in the living room. But thinking the layout of that house is so crazy. So, all right. Anyway, back to the thing.
Charles is the husband of the occupants here, but I guess he lives where?
Houston.
You know his date of birth? No. From Houston?
Is this vehicle here? How did he get here?
Is it here from Texas?
No, that's my sister's car. I think he came in a rental car.
You think your sister's in the rental car? Okay. So you get in an argument. What is it over?
Well, it was over my sister. He was getting physical with her, and so my niece came out with her bat, and then he took the bat away from her.
Wait a minute, I thought you said your niece left.
She did. This is before.
So before your sister and your niece left,
yeah.
At some point your sister and her husband are arguing,
yes,
verbal argument, and then your niece pulls out a bat.
Well, it wasn't verbal. He was getting close, and she came out to defend my sister with her bat.
Your niece.
Yes.
Okay.
And then she poked at him, and he took it away.
Okay.
And then I stepped in and told them they needed to separate.
Right.
So then my sister leaves with my niece.
And how long ago did they leave? Been like an hour, 10 minutes?
20 minutes maybe, I don't know.
Okay. So not terribly long.
No.
Oh, okay.
And then he's coming back at me, and he's still got the bat in his hand. Like, what are you doing?
And where are you at it? Where are you both
in the
at?
living room.
Okay.
And then I turned around, and he hit me in the back of the head with the bat. So I went to my room and got my gun. I always carry it.
You went to your room, meaning the room you're
I'm
staying in?
Yeah.
Okay, and you brought a gun with you?
Yes.
Do you always bring a gun?
I have a concealed carry always.
Okay.
Just to be safe.
Hi, who are you? Okay, just stand over there for just a second, guys.
And then I told him to put the bat down, and he wouldn't, and he came at me again.
And the wife just showed up as well. So you told him to put the.
Yes.
So where are you at?
Back
Where are you at now? Did you stay in your bedroom?
No.
Okay. Why didn't you stay just in your bedroom, close the door? Is that something you didn't think about, or?
Didn't even occur to me.
Okay, so walk me through it. So you go back into your room.
So I just went back to the living room. Like, what is your problem?
With the gun in your
Yes. And I said, I want you to put that bat down. And he wouldn't do it. And he's like, and he came at me with the bat again after he'd already hit me in the head. So I shot him to stop him.
Okay, and then what happened?
That was it.
Okay. Is it Alex or Alexander? What do you go by? Do you go by Alex or Alexander?
Alexander.
Okay. Do you live
I
at?
go by
What do you do for a living?
Oh, I drive a truck. Hey, I'm gonna get some tape.
Gotcha. The wife just showed up.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some tape to take this off.
Let's think that for a second. Where's the weapon at now?
It's in the bedroom.
So after you shot him, you put it back in the room, or?
Yeah, I went back to the bedroom to get my phone.
Okay. And what'd you do with your phone?
It's here.
Okay. And then what'd you do once you put your gun back? Grabbed your phone.
I cleaned my head up.
After you was he laying there in the living
Yeah, he
room?
was laying there still. It just took me a minute to compose myself. I mean, I was just shaking, and then I called.
Gotcha. Okay. We'll call 17 log. Stand by. I don't have engine 2811, and then Chandler Rescue. I don't have any water, so give me a second. Guys, hang tight just for a second. Don't go in there. Partner, hang tight. Don't go in there just now, guys. It's now a crime scene, so hang tight. Okay, cool. There's no, like, roughly how tall are you? What do you think you weigh? You still about 6'1"?
Okay, I'm gonna pause here for a moment real quick because I had put something in the chat about because Lori is now on scene. Lori and I suppose Tylee is on scene because she was taking JJ to school. I don't know if anyone else noticed it, but when she walked up, most normal people, when they arrive back at their home after they leave and there was no law enforcement there, no EMS personnel there, you know, you leave to go take your kids to school, leave to run to the store, etc. You come back and your street is full of emergency personnel vehicles, and you see your brother outside, knowing that when you left, there was your brother and your husband, your ex-husband, your significant other, your brother, whatever. Knew there was two people there, but now you only see one. You see all this stuff. Guilty or not, you would want to appear distraught, distressed, not dumb and delusional. I figured those two D's would work perfect with it. But Lori had no look of concern at all. She just like walks up and, you know, the officer tells them to step aside or whatever for a few moments. No sign of nothing except, oh, well, let me hurry up and call the insurance company. Yeah, whatever. I'm going to let y'all get back and think on that for a moment.
Charles.
Charles. When's our third unit coming here? Let's do this inside first. Let's get that inside perimeter done. I'll just hold right here. Okay. You want to just grab that inside perimeter? We got the 101 out front here. She's over there. Yeah, let's start with the garage and we'll just go from the house, make an inner perimeter and an outer perimeter. Is that the rental vehicle? Is it your husband? Okay. Both these vehicles yours in the driveway and the garage? Both your vehicles in the driveway and the garage? Okay. Give me just a second. I'll touch base with you. Just out of curiosity, how long have you known him long?
Yeah, 15 years.
Is that how long they kind of been married kind of thing? Do you normally have a good relationship with the guy?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. When's the last time you guys saw each other, interacted?
Last time I saw him was when he lived out here before he moved. Oh, actually, the last time I saw him was at my house. After my sister split out, he came to my house once.
This sister?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So did you sleep here last night?
Yeah.
So what time did you about wake up this morning?
About 6:30 or 7.
Normal day this morning, wake up? Just you, your sister, niece?
Gonna go do something fun today.
Anybody else in the house besides you three this morning?
My nephew's at school.
And it was just you, your sister, and the kids.
Yeah.
And then he comes over, and that was about 20, 30 minutes ago, roughly?
Roughly.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
I couldn't understand what you were saying.
No, I just needed more units because the wife is out front. She lives in 901. I haven't told her that either. And the child is there too. So that's the wife and his child. That's with her. Okay. So what about,
Is this guy visiting?
yes, he's the brother of the wife who was staying with his sister. Okay. There was I guess it was a domestic this morning. And they left. And it was just him and the brother-in-law. And the brother-in-law hit him in the head with a bat. His bedroom, he grabbed his gun to put the bat down. The guy didn't, so he shot him in the chest. Okay. All right. So he lives in Santan Valley, just over here visiting. On vacation. So husband, I guess, lives in Texas, but I haven't got all that information. But the husband, the deceased, doesn't live in the house. He lives out of state. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So haven't even talked to her yet. Okay.
Well, I'm waiting for CID to get here.
Yeah.
See what they want to do. So,
Okay. So do you so you don't live in Santan Valley, so why is it just easier to just hang out here?
I was here late last night. Sleep tonight.
Gotcha. Okay. Are you and your sister pretty close?
Yeah, we're planning to go do something today.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. That gotta go that way. That car has to go that way. That's a problem. All right, then we got to get that tape to over here probably. Yeah. 1 Sam 13. I can get you to come back out here and retape this outer perimeter. People are driving through it here. So that's a one-way. So we got to be able to let people out onto that street, but so we got to move that south tape. Okay. All right, let me get your information. Does your husband live here or no? Oh, gotcha. Okay, you guys know that. Gotcha. Okay. Let me just get your. Do you have a driver's license? Yeah, I can just grab. Thank you. L-O-R-I.
I don't know what happened to the sound. I'm not sure if there is sound or not. But hold on, let's see something here. I don't think there is any sound because I'm not even getting anything on the closed captioning. So hold on, let's see. Seeing Tylee stand there is just heartbreaking.
No one.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, Nah, just for a moment.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
I got a coffee with a cop thing, so I'm.
Okay, hey, Kite, I'll tell you what's going on.
So, well, I don't know that I'm taking this.
Gotcha. I'll hold off on that.
So that's why
I don't know where Lockwood is.
I
So.
got texted an address, so I'm trying to figure out.
Gotcha. I think so. I haven't looked at the map. Can they go north from here? Okay. You want to grab a piece of paper for scribe?
What's his name already started it?
Somebody in there?
Cohen. For everybody that's gone in the house.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Perfect.
And yet Alex is still just sitting there like hanging around, not in custody or anything.
Suspect is her husband. The suspect is her brother. Okay, so brother, sister, niece, husband, estranged, doesn't live here, lives in Texas. She's visiting. Because it was a DV earlier this morning. Brother kind of broke him up. Said it was getting a little bit physical with the wife. Yeah, because wife and husband are kind of separated. Again, he lives out of state. I don't know why he's here to visit. I don't have those details. Ultimately, he came over. They got into a verbal argument. Wife, husband got into a verbal argument. Brother steps in and says, just get the fuck out. At some point, the niece grabs the bat and is poking her dad. Dad takes the bat away. They decide to leave. Everyone leaves. There's a son too, a younger son. Her son, he's not here either. So wife who lives here, her daughter, her son, they all leave. Her brother staying here, visiting, and the husband. They get into it. He's like, he says they got into an argument. Husband hit him in the head with a bat. Brother says, fuck that. Goes to his room, grabs his gun, his own gun, goes back out. Doesn't stay in the room, doesn't lock the door, doesn't call us, but goes back out, confronts him, says, drop the bat. Guy doesn't drop the bat. He says he shoots him. Goes back into his room, puts his gun away, grabs his phone, cleans his head up, calls 911. And he's right there. So we're going to take her over to the victim. Yeah. Her name is what? Huh? I don't know. You guys want a quick briefing on the shooter's statement? Yeah. Okay. I'm still rolling. I haven't even gone this close. Okay, so. Okay.
Say how. Yes. She's that.
All right. Well, all right, y'all. Let me see here. I just found it. So one moment. Make sure I'm not trying to get it struck. So. Okay, let's see here. Here. Okay, let's see here. All right, so let's see here. Hold up 1 second. I about got it. Here we go. Here we go now. This that I'm sharing now is the ex-wife of Alex Cox discussing the bizarre relationship is how it's put. Dang, I found all kinds of videos popping up now.
Detective Coons, this is Debbie.
Investigations Detective Coons.
Hi, Detective Coons. This is Debbie. I'm returning your call.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Thank you for calling back.
Sure.
So, I'm not really sure. Did you provide the Chandler Police Department with a tip on a specific homicide investigation?
I did.
Okay. I didn't want to lead into what the information was or anything like that, or even assume that it was you, because sometimes people play games with us online. So,
sure.
So I've read the information that you provided, and I'm assuming you typed the information out?
I did.
Okay. What is it that you can actually talk to us about regarding all of this?
Well, I can only share the conversation. So I was married to Alex many years ago, and our marriage ended within a year, but we stayed in very close contact for several years. And I spoke to Alex last, right after he had served time in jail for the assault on Joseph Ryan. And when he was telling me about it, now Alex, I'm sure you know from your investigation, was a comedian.
Want to pause real quick because she just brought up something that we haven't really discussed much. I did touch a little bit base on it Friday or Thursday, I believe it was. Wednesday, yeah, Thursday. Joseph Ryan. Joseph Ryan is the father to Tylee Ryan and Colby Ryan. Notice how she says that Alex was in jail for assault. Now, Joseph Ryan is deceased also now, which could possibly look into it. But if I was Joseph Ryan's family, I seriously would look into it. I mean, she's already served a life sentence. What's the difference, right? The difference is that this family, every family, no matter who, what, how, when, why, deserves justice. So, yeah, we're going to carry on. But he was in jail for assault, but yeah, he still has a weapon. I can't wrap my mind around the whole situation here with why is he allowed to be uncuffed, unscathed, and carry a gun around with no implications. Makes you wonder if he's wasn't some kind of big shot hitman or something. But yeah.
And he was always joking about things in a funny way or trying to be funny. And he did tell me he was still really, really mad at Joseph Ryan because of things with his sister Lori.
Okay.
Custody issues. And he had told me that Joseph Ryan had possibly sexually abused the kids, Colby, as well as Tylee. But when I would ask Alex a lot of questions about it and try to dig deeper, then it would turn into, well, we're just trying to get custody. And he would flip-flop around quite a bit on whether or not that abuse had actually taken place, whether they had any proof it had taken place, or if they were just playing games to try to help his sister get custody.
Mm-hmm.
But in that conversation, he told me that he wanted to bait Joseph Ryan into a fight so that he could kill him. And if I had really at that time thought he was serious, because he said it in a joking way, but it was still creepy and weird. Weird enough that I never spoke to Alex again. That was the last time I ever talked to him. I just thought, okay, jail has not been kind to him. He's off his rocker. I really don't want to have this guy in my life anymore.
Oh, okay.
So I just never spoke to him again. That was the last time. But he had told me he wanted to bait him into a fight so that he could kill him and claim self-defense.
Okay. And how long after how long after Alex had been released from serving his time that you guys had this talk?
I think it was probably 2-3 months.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure on the dates, but I know it was relatively soon after, just not immediately.
Okay. Did he ever go into any details of what he did to Joe or anything like that, or why he did that?
Yeah, he told me that he had tased him, and he told me that the reason he did it was because Joe was making it difficult for Lori to get custody of the kids. He also claimed that he did it as punishment for sexually abusing the kids. He said he thought Joseph deserved to die because of the sexual abuse. But really, Alex couldn't provide any. Well, I didn't feel, because I was like, well, are you sure? How do you know? Did you take the kids to a doctor? I was asking a lot of questions, and he just couldn't be straight with the answers. But those were his reasons that he stated to me that he had tased Joe.
Okay, and did he say that he had tried to kill Joe that time, or was it something different?
He didn't say he was trying to kill him. He just wanted to hurt him.
Okay.
But he did tell me he wanted to kill him, but I took it more of, I want to kill that guy, just kind of conversational. I didn't think he would actually go do something like that.
Okay.
I was even shocked that he tased him. But I didn't even know about the tasing. I heard about it from Alex.
What do you mean you didn't know about the tasing?
Oh, I'm sorry. Alex had kind of fallen off the radar for we hadn't talked for about a year. And so I just thought he kind of fell off the radar. And then we talked, and he told me where he'd been the last year and what he had done.
Okay. When did you guys get married?
We got married in 92.
So then you got divorced in 93?
Yeah. Yeah, that, I don't know that this helps anything with the investigation, but as soon as I married him, I didn't know his family before we got married. We dated, whirlwind romance, got married, then I got to know the family. And there were so many crazy dynamics in that family and I've gone back since all of this came out and read my journals from that period of time. And there was just a lot of crazy dynamics in that family back then. And it caused a lot of issues right away. And it actually made me scared and nervous.
How so?
And we thought about, because there was a lot of inappropriate sexual touching and things going on in the family, particularly between him and his sister.
So between Alex and Lori?
And Lori.
Okay. You kind of got me at a loss on this one. What do you consider inappropriate sexual touching?
Like they were simulating sex acts, and which is not normal to me for a brother and a sister. For example, he would pick her up and she'd wrap her legs around his waist, and he would kind of bounce her up and down on himself.
Okay.
In front of me, and they would moan and simulate sex acts. And I have brothers, and I would never act like that with one of my brothers.
Okay.
And his mom and dad talked about their sex life in front of us constantly, and it just kind of seemed to be a game for them.
Oh,
to
the
talk
mom and
about
dad didn't really object to it then, huh?
No, not at all. All of this was going on in the family, in front of everybody. They had no shame.
Okay. So that obviously was kind of an alarm for you, I'm assuming, during your marriage.
Yeah.
And did it continue? Was it more than one time that you saw it?
Yeah, it was just about every time we were with them. Now, Alex and I only lived together married for about 4 or 5 months. And then I just knew that family was too weird, that I had made a big mistake. And so I got out.
Okay. So at the time, were you guys part of LDS?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, both of us had been baptized, but neither one of us were being active.
Okay.
And I was only baptized and active for a year of my life anyway. I wasn't really raised LDS.
Alrighty. How did Alex talk about Lori?
well, he was a really, really protective big brother, but he also talked about her being hot, and he sexualized her quite a bit. But he was just also really, really protective. We lived in the same apartment complex for a while, and it just kind of seemed like Alex just chased after her a lot.
Did you ever suspect anything more going on other than their playfulness, I guess?
Well, I asked him because he did touch her breasts and things, but they were allowed to do that in their family. So to him, he didn't think it was weird. He thought I was weird for thinking it was weird. And so we talked about that stuff a lot, but I didn't think he was sleeping with her.
Okay.
I just thought he had the liberty to touch her.
Did you ever confront him on that?
Yeah, I did. And I confronted him on, what about when we have kids? Would you allow that between our kids? And he just didn't think that there was anything wrong with what was going on.
Okay.
So we fought about it.
So you mentioned that he was a protective big brother. Can you talk to me a little bit more about that?
Well, he just, she had been married. She got married really quickly. I think she ran off to Las Vegas, and this was right before I married Alex. I think she ran off to Las Vegas with she married a guy, and then came home, and Alex would just always talk about how he wanted to go kick his ass.
Was this Joe or was this somebody else?
No, this was someone else. She got married when she was like 18.
Oh, okay.
And they didn't approve of her choice, and she did run away and elope. And the minute she got back to California, their dad, Barry, made her divorce him. And so Alex was like really, really bothered by that. But if anybody kind of looked at her wrong or treated her how he thought was not right, then he was always talking about how he wanted to kick their ass.
Okay. And did you ever see him take steps to that?
No. I really thought he was all talk and no action on that.
Okay.
He always just talked really tough back then.
How old were they when you guys got married and you saw this behavior?
I was 22 and Alex was 24.
Okay. And I'm unfamiliar with how much older Alex was than Lori.
I'd say 3-4 years.
3 to 4 years. So, okay.
Yeah.
So she was maybe 20, 21 at the time?
Yeah. Yep,
Okay.
that sounds right.
Okay. And where was this at? What state?
Utah.
In Utah?
Mhm. Lori and Alex both lived here in Utah. And then we just went to California a lot. And so a lot of the inappropriate behavior that I saw, I didn't see any of that in Utah. All of the inappropriate behavior I saw was in California at their mom and dad's house.
So anytime that you guys went to visit the parents, that's when you saw this behavior?
Yeah.
Okay. And otherwise, how was his behavior at the apartments other than, I guess, kind of touching her?
At the apartments, I didn't really see them interact too much. It seemed like here in Utah, she had her friends that she ran around with, and Alex and I were always together. And so I didn't see a whole lot of interaction, just I just remember a lot of the conversations about him wanting to beat up the guys she was dating. And he was always kind of obsessed with where she was going and what she was doing, but we didn't do a lot with her.
Okay, and is that also during that time frame that he would refer to her as being hot, or would that be only when you were visiting the family?
No, that was during that time he would talk about how hot she was.
Okay, and to your knowledge, are they biological brother and sister?
They are, to my knowledge.
Okay. And you never talked to him after that last comment where he stated he was going to try to bait Joe into a fight?
Yeah, nope. That was the last time I talked to him.
Okay. And forgive me, would that have been in 2009?
Yeah.
Or would that have been a little later?
No, I think it was 2009 when I was doing the math.
Okay. But it
was right after he had just been in jail.
Okay. And you said like a couple months maybe after he got out.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. And at that point, did you ever hear of Alex being violent to anybody other than the event with Joe?
No, I hadn't. Like I said, I really thought Alex was all talk and no action. And so I never thought that could happen.
Okay. Did Alex ever...
I was shocked by the tasing.
Well, I can imagine. If you've never seen that type of behavior, I can certainly imagine the shock that could come from that. Did Alex ever talk about religion with you or any ideology that he had?
Yeah, he did. While he and I were married, he got excommunicated from the Mormon church. And then over the course of the years of our communicating after our divorce, I know that he said he got rebaptized and then he got excommunicated again. And then I just don't think he ever bothered to try to get rebaptized, but he was always really, really convicted in the faith. He had very strong opinions, but where Alex is weak is he was just sexually promiscuous. And so then he just kept getting kicked out of the church because I think he was a sex addict.
So what makes you think he was sexually promiscuous?
Oh my goodness, because he told me. He would tell me. He couldn't control sex. He would find it wherever he could find it.
And is this after you were divorced?
And it was before also. I was just foolish and thought, oh, he's married now, so that's going to be over. But we were actually living when we first moved in together, we were living in Texas. And he had told me about his struggles with sex addiction before we got married.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't really understand what that was at 22. And so I thought, oh, okay, we get married and it's over. But when we were living in Texas, then
Okay. Are y'all still here with me? Let me know. Please, the chat. Because I have run into a technical issue, so hold on one second. Okay, y'all can hear me. Okay. Yeah, I lost y'all for a second. So hold on a second. Court, I believe, has already began. Let me see here. I was looking at the live updates, so hold on, let's see here. And we'll get back to the call here in just a moment. But let's see here what we have going on. Again, big Can y'all hear me? Can you see me? Oh, Lordy. Let me know if y'all can see me or hear me. Craziness. It's Monday. They must be going to be calling Zalima or something to the sand. Okay, let me know if you can hear me, though, or see me. Good deal. Monday. It's Monday. Okay, hold on now. Okay, so what I was saying is that, yeah, and I did get kicked. They kicked me all the way out, Burden, all the way out. So, it's still lagged a little bit, I think. Hold on. I want to check out these, this real quick. Okay. I had too many tabs open on my browser window, and I don't know where I learned to do that from. I think I had a good friend named Burden one time that would have a lot of tabs open. Hello? Can anyone hear me? Okay, I think I'm back with y'all now. I think. I believe so. Sorry. Yay! Welcome, everyone. Lord, I don't know what to do, y'all. I don't know whether to try to share um anything else or what, because I mean we've been live for an hour and a half now. Um and I don't want to keep getting kicked. I don't. I seen on the live updates, I'm not sure how many of you heard me, but Ray Hermosello and Eric Wheeler are two detectives. Tried a third time. I don't know, Burden. I just don't know. I can't. Hold on one second. Let me see here. Let me pull it up first. Okay, let me see. While I'm looking for this, I want to give an update on the Rachel Morin case. Her trial is currently underway, and no, so I seen something. I was like, "What in the world?" Um, jury deliberations are set, or they think could begin today. So, let me see here. I'm not gonna go back into Debbie's though, y'all. I'm not. I am going to play this one real quick because today, I think I'll probably say mess with my nose too. Yeah, and I mean I can understand why. I mean Nate packs his stuff. He packs it in there, and I'm thankful for that. So, yeah, I'm not gonna go back into Debbie because it's probably Alex is probably messing with my computer. It's like, the truth don't need to be out. No, the truth does need to be out, dude. I'm gonna play this one that I had queued up to play. But actually, I want to check and see. Let me just go ahead and share with y'all. Burden, when you gonna go back to doing some lives, my friend? See, I can do the recaps and you can do the trials. Oh, hold on a second here. No, actually, let me do this because I got something for y'all I want to show you. Because we're gonna summarize this one up with a bang today. Okay, let me see. Where is it at? Where's my cue? Oh, where's my cue at? I don't have it, but we'll get there in a moment. All right, we're gonna watch this real quick. This is where Lori called the life insurance company.
Claims Department, this is Robin. May I have the policy number?
Sure. It is
Are you calling in reference to a death claim?
yes.
Okay, one moment, please. May I have the name of the insured?
L. Charles VALLOW.
And who am I speaking with?
This is Lori VALLOW.
And your relationship to the insured?
He's my husband.
Okay, one moment. Okay, ma'am, I'm just going to need to ask you a few questions so that I can open the claim, and then I can go over the claim procedure with you and answer any questions that you may have afterwards.
That would be great.
Okay, first of all, may I have your daytime phone number, please?
Sure. It's 2.
And what was the date of Mr. Vallow's passing?
July 11th.
And what was the cause of his passing?
Well, he was shot.
Okay.
So I don't know how I want to put that.
Okay. All right. And I hate to ask, but is it?
Yeah,
you can just say yes or no. Was it a homicide?
No, it was an accident.
An accident. Okay. Okay. And what state did he pass away in?
Arizona.
Okay. Okay, just bear with me for one moment. I just need to pull up a few other things.
Okay.
Are you aware of who the primary beneficiary of the policy is?
It's me.
Okay. And may I have your, I'm sorry, one moment. My computer just went away for a second. Okay. And may I have your current mailing address?
Sure. It's 5531 South 4 FOUR Peaks PEAKS Place.
Okay.
In Chandler, Arizona. And it's 85249.
Okay, ma'am. That is all the information I need to open the claim. What we will do now is review the policy and the file to confirm the beneficiary information and determine the claim requirements that we will need to settle this particular claim. Once we have completed our review, we will prepare a claim packet to send to the named beneficiary once that has been confirmed. And the claim packet can either be mailed or emailed or faxed. How would you like to receive a correspondence?
Email would be great.
Okay, and what is your email address? .com. Okay. All right. So you should receive an email from our office within the next 3 to 5 business days or sooner. It will have the instructions listed. Once you receive the information, if you have any questions whatsoever, please don't hesitate to give our office a call, and then we can go from there. Okay. Is there anything I can help you with at this time?
That's it, I think.
Okay, ma'am. Well, I'm very sorry for your loss. You take care of yourself.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Priceless. I mean, priceless, to be honest, about how she does. You know what I'm saying? It's pure, absolutely pricelessness. There was another one here. Hold on a second. One moment. Oops. Okay. Let me see. Where was it? All right. Hold on. Let me find it here. I am too, because Lord knows you were missed on these streets, my friend. You were missed, indeed. You just got that laptop too, not long ago, didn't you? I think was that the one? Was it the one you got for Christmas? So let's see here. All right, this right here is what I wanted to hear.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning.
Morning.
We had just finished with some text on July 15th of 2019 and ending with a chat that had occurred with Lori VALLOW and from Charles VALLOW's son. Do you recall?
Yes.
Okay. Let us turn to some more conversations or information you included in your summary from July 15th of 2019. Okay. So if you could look at the next slide, I think it's noted as slide 16, and take a look at this. Now, this is the same exhibit that you prepared in summary for court today?
Yes.
Okay. And just so the record's clear, this summary is a summary of what?
It's a summary of content from two iCloud accounts, Lori for Style at iCloud.com and Lollytime at iCloud.com.
That was part of the evidence submitted obtained by the investigators containing the defendant's communications with people.
Correct.
Okay. Now, if you could take a look at the next slide, and we'll go through just these two on the 15th. Can you tell us why you included these two messages?
Yes, I included these messages because they were a reference to the relationship between Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow, and there was a statement from Lori Vallow about the status of that relationship.
Okay. If you could just read into the record, please, so that it's clear, what are the text communications between Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow that you included from July 15th?
Line 2827 from Chad Daybell to Lori Vallow. I know you won't get this text for another hour or so, but my love for you is overflowing right now. I just want to hold you endlessly. You are my wonderful best friend that I can't live without. Line 2826 from Lori Vallow to Chad Daybell. And yet you are. So sad. Missing you. Just landed. Gotta get to work.
And so why did these two particular texts amongst the thousands that you saw catch your attention and include in the summary?
It discusses Chad Daybell's statement that he can't live without Lori Vallow, and she responds, and yet you are.
Why was that relevant for investigative purposes?
Objection, Your Honor, calls for a legal conclusion.
My question was cut off, Your Honor. I said, why was that relevant for investigators' purposes?
And I'm objecting as it calls for a legal conclusion.
It's overruled.
Thank you, Your Honor. You may answer.
It was clear to investigators that the relationship between Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow was a driving force behind the crimes that have been alleged in this case.
Turning to some conversations on July 18th, and I believe these go on for a few bits, but could you take a look at them? Why did you include these particular communications?
This slide and two or three slides after this slide contain a text string between Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow regarding the fact that Charles Vallow had changed the beneficiary of his life insurance from Lori Vallow to another individual. I included this because it was pertinent in terms of potential financial motives in this case.
If you could, starting with the lines on page 17, could you take a look at those and read those into the record?
Yes. Line 2706 from Lori Vallow to Chad Daybell. I just got the letter from the insurance company saying that I am not the beneficiary. It is a spear through my heart. Who do you think he changed it to? Brandon, or probably Kay. He left nothing for JJ. Line 2705 from Chad Daybell to Lori Vallow. Wow, that's terrible. There's no way to find out. Line 2704 from Lori Vallow to Chad Daybell. I might be able to see when I get his computer on Sunday. I could check the emails sent to the insurance company. It will show change of beneficiary. He must have done it recently.
If you could.
Okay, hold on one second here. So she says that she is wondering who got to be the beneficiary, but hold on a second, I have to mute my TV. She's unsure of who is the beneficiary at this moment, but keep in mind now, if you watched last week's stream, you seen that Kay was on the stand. She was the last one to take the stand, Kay Woodcock, which is Larry, or not Larry, Larry is her husband, Charles's sister. She had went in and had to change everything. So, yeah, I thought that Larry, or I thought that Kay had the laptop or whatever, but we'll see. Hold on. Get back here.
Continuing on to slide 18. Read those as well.
Line 2703 from Chad Daybell to Lori Vallow. It seems you would have had to agree to the change. Maybe your name was forged. You should have a good paper trail to prove it. Line 2702 from Chad Daybell to Lori Vallow. I love you. This is terrible, but it is probably another step in bringing down the Gadiantons, especially Brandon. Line 2701 from Lori Vallow to Chad Daybell. Nope, he can change it anytime he wants. He's the agent, and anyone can change their beneficiary anytime with their own signature. I'm thinking it must be K. Line 2700. Excuse me. From Chad Daybell to Lori Vallow. It will be interesting if it got changed after he had 2 bullets in his chest.
And continuing on this line of summary.
Line 2699 from Lori Vallow to Chad Daybell. I don't think it could have. You can't change it after the death date. They would review that. Line 2698 from Chad Daybell to Lori Vallow. Yes, I'm thinking Kay as well. She is probably freaking out that you got those computers. I'm going to shower and give you a blessing. I'm eager to get home so we can talk. It really will be okay, my love. You are wonderful. Line 2687 from Lori Vallow to Chad Daybell. So I talked to the insurance company. He changed it in March. So it was probably Ned before we got rid of him. They can't tell me to who, of course, but it's done. I'll still get the $4,000 a month from SS. Line 2683 from Chad Daybell to Lori Vallow. When you get out of the temple, please text this phone. I'm home alone until about 3:30 your time. I love you so much.
Now, you indicated that you included this in your summary of the text because it discussed potential financial motive for various crimes.
Correct.
Okay. Let's go back and look at the sort of beginning of this text communication. And why did you talk about getting the letter or include getting the letter from the insurance company saying that Lori was not the beneficiary? Why did you include that text?
I included that because it was apparent that Lori Vallow was surprised to find out that the beneficiary had been changed.
Okay. And was there, turning to the next slide, was there anything significant to you about it is probably another step in bringing down the Gladiatans, especially Brandon? In your review of all the iCloud records in context of the entire investigation that you were part of, did you understand what that meant?
Yes.
What did that mean?
Gadiantons is another reference to the Book of Mormon. The Gadiantons were a secret society, a group of robbers, evil people. So when the phrase Gadianton is used, it's simply identifying someone as being evil in this case, or also in this case, Brandon Boudreaux.
Okay. And why would the inclusion of Brandon Boudreaux in a conversation about Charles Vallow's life insurance money have any significance to you in the investigation?
I'm going to object because it misstates the evidence that's actually been presented. There's no reference to Brandon Boudreaux.
I'll sustain the objection.
Okay. Why would the reference to Brandon in the text at line 2702 have any significance to you as it's inserted in a text conversation about Charles Vallow's life insurance?
That particular line in and of itself isn't terribly significant, other than we know from the investigation that that marriage was also in a tumultuous time, but it was a text in a series of text strings, one following the other. So I included it in amongst this series.
And what, if any, significance was there to the conversation about he can change it at any time? I'm thinking, and ending with, I'm thinking it must be Kay. Did you know who Kay was?
Yes.
Who was Kay?
Kay Woodcock, Charles Vallow's sister.
And turning to the line 2687, what, if any, significance in the investigation was there to a conversation about $4,000 a month from SS?
That's an indication that Lori Vallow would still receive that amount of money on a monthly basis from Social Security.
Okay. And as of July 18th, 2019, had Lori Vallow yet started to receive Social Security from JJ, or for JJ from Charles's Social Security account?
Not at that date. That took place a little later on.
And yet it's referenced in line 2687.
Correct.
And that text communication about anticipated Social Security funds was on July 18, 2019, from Lori Vallow to Chad Daybell.
Yes.
Okay.
Let me.
Okay, so that was some text messages in there about that. I have found the one I want to show here. It's not all of it, but it's a few. No, I'm glad you like our new background we have. I finally figured out how to do the layout of it, so. All right, so hold on 1 second.
And he said, "Hey, let me call you back in a minute." And so I was still at the nail salon trying to get out of there. And he called and he said, "He's dead." I Googled him and he's dead. Alex killed him yesterday. And I mean, that was just like, it was horrible. I have to call my siblings and let them know.
Okay, so that was some text messages in there about that. I have found
And everybody was freaked out. I didn't know what to do.
not all of it.
But I did call Cole back and let him know
I'm glad you like our new background.
that it was true.
I finally figured out how to do the layout of it.
Just was telling him, let's keep in touch. You find out something, I find out something. We'll let each other know. And
Did you try to reach out to Lori?
I've tried calling, texting Charles. I tried calling, texting Lori. And at some point, she texted me. She returned a text, something like, "I'm having to deal with a lot of stuff and I'm busy." And he said, "Hey, let me call you back in a minute." And so I was still at the nail salon trying to get out of there. And he called and he said, "He's dead." I Googled him and he's dead. Alex killed him yesterday. And I mean, that was just like, it was horrible. I have to call my siblings and let them know.
All right, go and have a seat to my left.
Would you please introduce yourself to the jury?
My name is Kay Woodcock, Charles Vallow's younger sister.
Oh, hold on now.
How old are you?
Sorry,
How
y'all.
old am I today?
Today.
64.
And are you married?
Yes.
Where do you currently live?
Lake Charles, Louisiana. My name is Kay Woodcock, Charles Vallow's younger sister.
How old are you?
How old am I today?
Today.
64.
And
Sorry, y'all. I'm just trying to rush through here a little
where
bit
do you currently
because,
live?
Lake Charles.
yeah. Here is the moment. Yeah, here's the moment a lot of us have been looking to see and wanting to see. The one I'm fixing to show you. Lori Vallow Daybell and Kay Woodcock. When I say that it was like watching a major motion picture when I saw this on Thursday, I literally mean that because you could feel the tension through the TV screen. That's how much hatred Kay has for Lori, which she has every right to. That was her brother who was maliciously killed. So we're going to watch this cross and this redirect. You can tell Lori is nervous and scared to death.
Ms. Woodcock, where were you on July 11th, 2019?
At home in Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Were you aware at all of the relationship between Charles and Tylee?
It was, let's say, it was a bit contemptuous. It seemed like there was always a lot of drama going on, and so that's all I knew. He didn't say too much about it, and I didn't pry.
But you knew that there was some kind of contention going on with those two for
I
a
can't
while.
hear you.
I'm sorry. You did know that there was some kind of contention going on with those two for a while.
Yes.
Okay. And you weren't really aware of the events that happened that morning, were you?
The morning of his murder?
Of July 11th?
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
Because you didn't tell me.
Ms. Woodcock, did you see or hear or personally witness me conspire with Alex Cox to kill my husband, Charles Vallow?
No, but I saw a ton of evidence that did.
Thank you. No further questions.
All right, redirect.
Just briefly. You were asked about the relationship between your brother and Tylee. How old was Tylee when Lori and Charles got married?
She was 3, or right around 3.
So was Charles in her life for most of her memorable years?
Exactly. Yes, he was.
And how old was she in July of 2019?
She was 16. Yeah, yeah.
So teenager.
Yes.
In terms of their relationship, are you saying that Charles and Tylee never had good times?
Oh, I'm not saying that. I saw them have good times, and it wasn't, you know, it wasn't that they couldn't look at each other, or, you know, it wasn't like that. But I mean, yeah, a teenage girl on one is hard anyway. But I do know that there was a lot of issues with her dad and Lori with her ex-husband and custody, and it was a mess. It was a mess.
So Tylee had a lot going on in her life.
Yes, she did.
And you would see her and Charles at times have difficulty getting along.
I never really saw anything that sticks out in my mind. But I just know he'd tell me how it was just difficult. And it, you know, as a step parent, it can be very difficult. I can attest to that.
So on July 11th, when Charles VALLOW was killed, did you actually have any idea that your brother was dead?
None at all. How would I know?
So in terms of you learning that your brother,
That's still the case.
Goodness gracious. I wish it would just, whenever I press stop, it would just stop all the way. But no, I gotta push 500 buttons here to get it to stop. Where's my thing at? Hold on, y'all. Where are you? Okay, so that's how we ended Thursday, with Kay on the stand. And there was a few mic drop moments, like one where it was going from Lori, or from the prosecution to Lori, and Kay takes a drink of her water and she says, "Oh boy." So there was that. I'm really proud of Miss Kay. She has been through the ringer. Her and her whole family has. So whenever, you know, oh, um, also, did y'all drop Krishna's page? Which Krishna is, I think that's how you say her name, Krishna. She is Charles's niece. Yeah, I think I did see where you dropped that. They are doing day by day coverage on this. I don't know if Larry or if Kay is still. I think Kay is still in the. Is in. I think that. Hold on, y'all. I know y'all like to see me on camera, but man, I just look horrible some days. And I don't feel like it. But anyway, Larry is going to be going to meet Miss Kay in Arizona. I watched on one of Nate's things that he did. He did an interview. Nate Eaton did an interview with Larry about Miss Kay's testimony. This has been a long time coming for them, and we still have one more trial to get through, and that's going to be the trial of Brandon Boudreaux, however you say his last name. And the reason they are having a trial over him is because he was a victim also. Luckily for him, the bullet missed whenever he got shot at, and Brandon is the ex-husband of one of Lori's nieces. But let me think. Lord. Mine got leaked too. My social security number did. It got leaked last year. It's a whole hot mess. But the highlights of last week, I have to say, was Miss what's her name? Nancy Joe. Was it Nancy Joe? The one that went on a date with Charles the night before he was killed. That was some fiery, spicy interaction there. But, I think our Judge Borowski, and even the prosecutor has somewhat of a sense of humor because the prosecution could have objected a whole lot more when Nancy Joe was on the stand. They let it go. And Lori needs to not flatter herself because it's not about her. Even though it is about her, it's about the justice that is being delivered. So, I'm thinking of are you talking about y'all talking about computer stuff. Anyway, we've been live for 2 hours and 12 minutes. Nah, you're more than welcome for me doing these streams. I promise I won't go AWOL all the way if Vernon gets to come back, but I might take a little break. But anyway, I'm gonna jump off of here because court has began, and I want to get as many notes as I can myself, so that way we're not tied up with having to rewatch everything. So you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you all tomorrow.